Hello and welcome to week 6 in the psychology of adulthood. And we are in chapter 6 where we're looking at family, work, and education. Really kind of the beginning points we've just been through early adulthood. Now we're looking at these launching points for people. Many of you maybe even coming for your second round in defining a whole new work. Maybe relationship changes and then the kids are leaving, or maybe there's been a divorce, or maybe a marriage that has allowed you to come back to school, or those kinds of transitions. We're looking at those topics as they happen in our adulthood. So the discussion actually asks you to consider a concept from Piaget's theory of cognitive development. It's very much part of the constructivist point of view in cognitive psychology right now. The idea of a schema. So a schema is, well, the idea of a schema. Schema is an idea. It's your internalized representation of something. So when you think of family, what does that mean to you? What are the components of family? How does it work? What is it? It's probably an incredibly complex schema of various types of relationships and roles and emotions and commitments and future planning and whatnot. And I sort of make a little bit of a laundry list in the course book where I say marriage, cohabitation, pets, location, extended family, their role in the career and family balance, leisure time, friends, possessions, discipline, gender, sexuality, future planning. All of these are subject to the construction of your concept of family. So, what I'm asking us to discuss, utilizing Marcia's theory of identity status, is to reflect upon your own personal journeys in some of this stuff. When it could be as simple as having a pet or not. I'll share. Quite a few years ago, we had a pet dog. That dog was Lily. It was a pit bull. Loveliest dog you could probably ever have. It came to us unexpected because my stepson's girlfriend was raising this dog. She had to move into her grandparents' house, which didn't allow dogs in an apartment building. The dog had become friends at our house and came over all on its own many times. So we adopted the dog. Became a very huge part of our lives, a huge part of who we were as a family. The dog was very friendly, all sort of adventure. Just we'd still talk about Lily. And then Lily died suddenly, had an internal bleed. It was a very, very sad situation. And we had to consider, this Lily-sized hole in our family. What are we going to do about that? And we decided that we would not get another dog and embrace dogless life. So throughout that process, look at each one of the times where, the challenge of our identity of not having a dog to getting a dog, having a dog, losing the dog, and then the decision to be dogless can all be described, using Marcia's theory. We can look at any aspect of our identity. So share what you've been through in terms of the developing sense of what family has been to you, and sprinkle it with a few words from Marcia's theory. And that will be more than sufficient. I've loved the way this class has shared information at all levels of these discussions. So I'm not going to give you any more instructions than that. You know what to do. Just keep doing what you've been doing all this time. Now, in the assignment, I'm asking you to write a paper. It's similar in sense, but this has to do with your career, looking at your career, and it incorporates your education as well. I want you to identify the process by which you have come to your decisions about your career path now. Why did you pick UMA? Why did you go in this direction? kind of thing. Now, this is in an essay format now, not in a discussion. So integrate the identity status theory into that, and also explore the sense of happenstance, a concept that I introduced, very, very popular concept in career development right now. The notion of happenstance, meaning that you just happened to be in the right place at the right time and got exposed to the right thing, or met the right person in line at the grocery store, and things progressed in such a way that you find yourself in a different place than you might have imagined. Happenstance, the theory, comes from a lot of research where many, many individuals who are in the jobs that they love can reflect on times in which they would not have seen themselves in that kind of work, but happenstance brought them there, and that is how they found the work that they like. So there's something to be said about the notion of, well, if happenstance really is part of how I'm going to find my dream job or happiness or my life partner or whatever, then how do I prepare for that? What degree do I go for when I'm looking at happenstance? Two processes going on. There's the planning process, and then there's the openness to opportunity knocking. And how do you prepare for that? And do that in a balance, while at the same time managing commitments within family, with children, the expectations that you have, all these decisions and choices that come around to us. Which ones do we jump at? Which ones do we maybe now's not the time for that? Cool. So incorporate any notions of happenstance that seem to have a part of why you're here. Someone you met, something that happened. It might even be something negative. Like, so someone might have been on another pathway, but then something came along and it was destructive and awful, and it led you on a new path. That is also happenstance, and led you into a place that you never would have thought you were going to be. So that's the assignment. So we have our discussion looking at the schema of family, and really the assignment is the schema of work and education. So that's it for this week. Those are the expectations. Have a great week. Be well, and I will see you online.